Yo, what is going on, you guys? This is Gaming with Sal and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to go ahead and discuss about the Black Ops past and how it has been so far pretty lackluster and disappointing if you ask me. But before I go ahead and do that, I just want to address one thing to you guys really quickly, and that is that recently I put up a poll on my channel asking you guys if you would be interested if I made a few videos over the new game known as Apex Legends, in which most of you guys said you'd be interested in watching that. As of right now, I have that video being worked on, and basically I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the game and what I liked and disliked about it and all that kind of stuff, but it isn't just ready yet to be published on YouTube. I'm still working on that video and it will probably be done and ready to come out sometime next week. However, if it does take a while, I apologize because I do have a lot of exams coming up next week for school as well, so it might take some time to get to that video and have it being published for you guys to watch, but that's just something I wanted to let you guys know about. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, the Black Ops pass. When it comes down to Call of Duty in general, I don't understand why we still have a season pass in a franchise such as this one. In my opinion, the season pass is pretty much becoming outdated if you ask me, and it only works for games that don't have any microtransactions within them, which, let's be honest, is not applying to Call of Duty whatsoever nowadays. Games such as Modern Warfare 1 all the way up until COD Ghosts made sense to have a season pass because we didn't have any COD points, supply drops, and all these little microtransactions pretty much taking over the game. However, taking a look at Black Ops 4 today, like I said, there's a bunch of these microtransactions to the point where they even went ahead and took something like the item shop in Fortnite and literally brought it back into Black Ops 4 as the Blackjack shop. So the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to a game such as Black Ops 4, they should have made it free to play if they're going to be handling microtransactions the way they are right now, or at least should have gotten rid of the season pass, or like I said in this case, the Black Ops pass. Because one, it splits the player base up when new maps come out. Two, it doesn't offer any other incentives except for being able to get the new maps. And three, like I said earlier, it's simply getting outdated and doesn't go well with games that have microtransactions. But let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit and go back to the first 2 points that I just made, that it splits the player base up and it doesn't offer anything new but maps and 4 exclusive Blackout skins. Now here's the thing, in a game such as Black Ops 4 or any other Call of Duty title for that matter, I personally think that season passes were never worth it, especially for the Call of Duty titles that have come out on the PS4 and the Xbox Ones, seeing how those are the games that usually had the microtransactions in them. And I'm going to use Black Ops 3 as an example to back up what I'm basically saying. I actually got the season pass for Black Ops 3, and in the beginning it wasn't so bad. When DLC 1 came out, I was actually able to play on some of the new maps within the regular rotation. However, it really started to go downhill after DLC 2 came out, because every time these new maps came out, I started to see them come up in the regular rotation less and less, which means I never got to play on most of the new maps by the time DLC 4 was announced and released. This sucks for everyone who decided to pay $50 extra to get the new maps and then barely getting to play them. The reason why this happens is because suppose a player doesn't want to buy the season pass and instead buys, let's say, only like DLC 1 and DLC 4, and then another player decides to buy DLC 3 and DLC 4, and then a third player decides to buy the entire season pass, so therefore that third person has access to all DLC maps. Now let's say that all three of these players are friends and want to play with each other. Well, what ends up happening is that all three friends will only be able to play on the maps that came out with the game when it first launched, and then DLC 4 only, since that is the only DLC pack that is commonly owned by all three players. This also means that these three players will also be matched up with other players who also can only play the standard maps that came with the game plus DLC 4. And then when it comes down to any sort of Call of Duty title, how many players do you think there possibly will be where they're basically in the same situation? Barely anyone when comparing to the total number of players playing the game itself. This is a great example of how map packs or season passes split up the player base, which is why when the Black Ops pass was announced, it was going to be different in the sense that we won't have any more DLC packs anymore. Instead, the pass basically said that all Black Ops pass owners will automatically get 12 multiplayer maps, 4 Blackout skins, and 4 new zombie maps whenever those things decide to get released. So the player base is still getting split, but not as much as it would be with DLC packs like previous Call of Duty titles. Either you buy the pass and you're a pass owner and get all of these different things right to you whenever they come out, or you don't have the Black Ops pass and you don't have any of this extra content and you can buy them separately for like a separate price point or anything like that. And even though this sounds like a much better version of the season pass, it's actually not, because the amount of content that is getting dropped is significantly low here in Black Ops 4 compared to past Call of Duty titles. Let's put it this way, it is now February and the game came out in October, so a whole month early on top of that in comparison to what a Call of Duty title normally comes out in. 4 months have already passed by in terms of the game's life cycle, and the only thing that we've gotten so far is 2 multiplayer maps, those being Elevation in Madagascar, Reaper as the Blackout skin, and then 1 zombies map called Night of the Dead. That's pretty much it. We still have 10 multiplayer maps yet to be seen, 2 more Blackout characters or skins, and then 3 more zombies maps. When we take a look at a game such as World War II, we actually saw a lot more content come to that game by the month of February in 2018 than we have here in Black Ops 4 in the month of February here in 2019. So back, like I said, in February of 2018, World War II already had the Winter Siege event come to the game that brought 3 new weapons to the game, a huge overhaul to the headquarters, which made it into like a wintry themed wonderland, if that's what you want to call it. They brought a new Winter Carrington map that was free for everyone to play, and it also brought 3 new multiplayer maps, 1 war map, and 1 zombies map. And the game came out a whole month after Black Ops 4 did. A game like World War II, which everyone was despising and saying that it was too boring after a while of playing it, did a much better job than Black Ops 4 in terms of dropping content. This basically just goes to show that Treyarch really didn't learn their mistakes from Sledgehammer Games and instead made it kind of worse with their own game. Of course, as far as multiplayer goes. And honestly, they could have done so much more with the Black Ops Pass that actually is related to what's going on within the game. And this is where I am going to start referencing the second point I made earlier in the video, and that is that the only incentive we get from the pass is to get the extra maps and the 4 Blackout skins. First of all, forget about the maps. We already talked about that. Why are we only getting 4 Blackout skins alongside with these maps and then nothing else? First of all, this is a first-person shooter title. We barely ever get to see our characters unless if we actually perform gestures or anything of the sort. And let's be honest, how many times have any of us actually used the gestures within even Blackout? Because multiplayer, let's be honest, we can never use gestures in that game. Alright, that mode is way too fast-paced for that. I really don't even know why we have it in the game. It would make sense for something like Blackout to have it, but even then, I've rarely ever seen anybody actually use the gestures for even a mode like Blackout. So I really don't understand why there's so much emphasis on, you know, character skins and having price tags put with them if we're in a first-person shooter title. It doesn't make any sense to me. And on top of that, this game is really designed around that contraband supply stream within the black market. So when it comes down to like the Black Ops Pass, why can't we have it where maybe like Black Ops Pass owners will always have a 50% reduction in price for anything that's in the black market? That goes for tier skips, that goes for the items in the blackjack shop, anything of the sort. And to me, that's fair because they paid an extra $50, which means they spent a total of $110 on the game, but don't get any incentives or any sort of deal when it comes to how much some of these items actually cost when it comes down to the black market. That doesn't seem right to me at all. On top of that, maybe when it comes down to like the Black Ops Pass owners, we can make it where it's easier and quicker for them to get the newer weapons, because it doesn't make any sense to me how someone who didn't buy the Black Ops Pass has the same amount of chance of getting the weapon around the same time as someone who did buy the pass. And when it comes down to maps, why can't we make it where the Black Ops Pass owners get to try the maps out for maybe like a couple of weeks before the people who don't have the pass? So that way everyone ends up eventually getting these multiplayer maps, and that way we're not splitting the player base up. I feel like that would be a much better system, right? Like maybe Black Ops Pass owners will be able to get the new maps 2 weeks before the people who don't own the Black Ops Pass. So if anything, what I'm basically trying to say, Treyarch failed to realize that the Season Pass or the Black Ops Pass needs to offer more than just maps and, you know, Blackout character skins. They need to make it where it can actually give players incentive to, you know, participate and buy stuff in the black market, because it doesn't make any sense to me to spend over $100 into a game only to get an extra few maps that I'm probably going to be playing with a very small player base with. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to buy the Black Ops Pass. I don't understand why they're not dropping content more frequently. Like, really, 4 months in and only 2 multiplayer maps? We should be getting like a multiplayer map every single month or so, because, you know, 12 multiplayer maps, 12 months in a year. Why not, right? I really don't know what's going on over there. In my opinion, if they don't bring any changes to the Black Ops Pass, because in the fine print, by the way, you guys, it does say that the Black Ops Pass can be subject to change. So therefore, I feel like that they should make these necessary changes to make the game better. I mean, think about it. World War II did a whole overhaul on the divisions in the month of April, which is a better late than never situation, but I don't know why Black Ops 4 isn't making the appropriate changes that they should be to the Black Ops Pass to give them an advantage against games like Apex Legends now and Fortnite. But if they don't learn from their mistakes that they're making right now, I don't know how, you know, the future for the Black Ops Pass is going to look like. On top of that, the life of, you know, Black Ops 4 itself in general. So I don't know, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of what you guys think about the Black Ops Pass. I personally personally think it is a huge failure right now, and that's not to be mean, that's just my actual opinion on the matter. It's not really doing that well, and I really feel bad for the people who actually paid money for this Black Ops Pass. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. So if you guys enjoyed it, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll never miss an upload, and follow me on my social media accounts to stay connected. Links will always be in the description below, and I will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and bye.